What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. The focus of my video today is pretty simple. Should I start my hardcore character on World Tier 1 or World Tier 2? And my answer to that question is World Tier 1. I cannot find any reason or make a good case at all for starting on World Tier 2. Just let me explain the difference between the two different tiers, and then I can show you how I came to my conclusion. So when you start the game, you have the choice: World Tier 1 Adventurer or World Tier 2 Veteran. The differences between them are minor. World Tier 1 is just easier in general. World Tier 2, the enemies are more challenging, is how they're described. They also give 20% increased experience and 15% more gold. So easy mode, harder mode. It's been debated whether or not the actual loot drops have any difference between the two tiers, but nothing at all is stated that there's a difference. And in Diablo 3 they actually did say that your magic find was increased and stuff like that, so I assume that they would definitely put that on there if it made a difference at all. So considering the fact that they didn't mention it, we can assume that there is absolutely no difference in loot between World Tier 1 and World Tier 2. So with no difference in loot drops, the math becomes a little simpler. Basically, we need to take less than 20% longer to kill the enemies in order to start getting more experience. If it takes me 20% longer or more to kill them, and they're only giving me 20% more experience, I'm not gaining anything there. Yes, the gold, they're dropping more gold, but you're probably killing a lot less enemies because it's taking you longer to kill them. So the speed and volume in which you kill will be decreasing. Now, I'm not sure how it applies to bosses and their HP levels and the damage they do. Enemies are more challenging is such a broad statement, it means nothing. Do they have 40% more life and hit 40% harder? Or are they just quicker? I know they react a little bit better, it seems, and I think they're more accurate with their abilities and their timings are a little bit quicker, but like, how much more health do they have? 50%, 100% more? Am I taking twice as long to kill a boss just to get 20% more experience and 15% more gold? It's not set in stone, but that gamble and risk just isn't worth it, really. Now, keep in mind, I'm looking at this proposition purely from a hardcore playthrough perspective. I don't know what's coming, and like I've said in every other video, it's a blind playthrough, right? We know Act 1, we don't know anything else. So me putting on World Tier 2 and increasing that challenge and risking my character for these meager gains, I'm just not ready to do that. It makes no sense. And most likely you're still going to come out on top in World Tier 1 regardless, just from the sheer volume of extra enemies you can kill, because you kill them so much quicker. So I think for hardcore, it's a no-brainer, absolutely World Tier 1 on your first playthrough. Of course, if you're making a second character or whatever it is you're making, you've already got some items now in your stash and you're making a second character and they're going to be more powerful, then maybe you're going to get bored on World Tier 1. You want to put it on World Tier 2. But from a first playthrough, definitely WT1. Just to add a quick note to all of this as well, Wowhead has it written here: in return, enemies will grant better loot, increasing overall experience and gold gain. I can find absolutely no proof anywhere that enemies will grant better loot. Blizzard themselves do not state it in the tooltip. It's not stated in any developer blog. No one's seen any evidence of that at all that I can find anyway. So I do not believe that to be true. That would change the equation slightly, but even still, who cares about low-level better loot? Nobody. So still World Tier 1. Now, besides World Tier 1 and 2, you might be asking, well, how do we get to World Tier 3? So how that works is, I'm assuming once we've beaten the story mode and killed Lilith or taken her out to dinner or whatever the hell the ending is, we then unlock the Cathedral of Light, which is the capstone dungeon. And the capstone dungeon forces you to do it on World Tier 2. It's automatically set to that. So the monsters are going to be harder, they're going to be faster, they're going to hit for more damage, and there's nothing you can do to lower that difficulty at all. And we want to get to World Tier 3 as soon as we can, really, because that's when the good stuff starts coming out. It unlocks sacred items and unique items, so now they can actually drop. They cannot in World Tier 1 or 2. Nightmare Sigils, which unlock the Nightmare Dungeons, can also drop. Helltides can appear. Champion monsters with damage resistance auras can appear. So if you're all in on just playing a Frost Sork or something like that, they might be resistant to Frost. You might have some issues. So things like that. Now they're at 100% increased experience, still 15% more gold. That does not increase. And they have 20% more resistance. And they are even more formidable. So I'm assuming quicker attacks, quicker timings, quicker movement speed. World Tier 3 is when shit starts to get real. And then last but not least, I'm assuming once you've beaten the campaign on World Tier 3, you unlock the Fallen Temple Capstone Dungeon in Northeastern Dry Steppes. And it forces you to do this dungeon on World Tier 3. You have to be level 70 plus, or it's recommended for anyway. And World Tier 4, once we activate it, it allows ancestral items, which are like crazy stuff, and new unique items. So again, end game unique items, they can now drop. Enemies are as hard as they're going to get, at least for now. They give 200% increased experience and still the same 15% gold, and they have 40% more resistances. I think this kind of shows you how they want gold to be harder to get, and gold is more valuable in Diablo 4, because they don't give you any more gold from Tier 2 to Tier 4. I mean, the monsters naturally, as you level up, they'll drop more gold, but like they're not giving you crazy bonuses here. So, and of course, the cost of manipulating your items, repairing, resetting your skills, etc., when you're like level 70 plus is expensive. So gold is valuable, but that's a whole different story. So anyway, we want to get to World Tier 3 as soon as we can, but we're basically skipping over World Tier 2 to get there because it just isn't worth it. In conclusion, hardcore mode, play on World Tier 1. At the end of World Tier 1 story mode, you're going to have to do a World Tier 2 dungeon. It's probably going to be hard. You beat it, you unlock World Tier 3. We're going to spend a lot of time in World Tier 3. But this is all just for a solo player. I think if you're playing with friends or something like that, World Tier 2 might be better for you then. Some of the synergies between classes and just having multiple people pulling aggro, having range characters that are protected by a barbarian or a necromancer standing in the front where they can just open up on people. It changes the game plan, but this is all for just a solo hardcore player. I would recommend playing on World Tier 1, but hey, maybe you've just got balls of steel and you don't give a shit. And that wraps it up for this video. I wanted to keep it just really simple and straightforward. If you have any thoughts or any comments about this video, any feedback you want to give me, please give me it. I'm still learning how this all works, and any feedback is appreciated. And let me know what tier you plan on starting on day 1, and if you're playing hardcore or not. Thanks for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.